Welcome to Altair Solar. I'm here with President Khaled Elsheref, and I'm Ariana Escalante. And today we are talking about the different ways that one can pay for a solar system on their house. We all know it's an investment, so talk to us about the different ways that they can be paid for.
So there are three different ways you can pay for a solar system. You can pay for it just with cash. You can pay for it through a loan, a solar loan, or a regular loan that you can take on your house. And finally, through a lease. Cash is the straightforward, model. It's actually the fastest return on investment happens with the cash. Second is a loan, or specifically a solar loan. Solar loans are recommended over regular loans just because they're so easy to apply for, so easy to get approved for. Most companies out there, they'll get you approval instantly. They'll check, a lot of them will actually do a soft credit pull rather than a hard credit pull to initially qualify for the loan, but once you go with the process, it becomes a hard pull. So, that's a great option. And then finally is the lease option where, and then the lease is recommended if you cannot take advantage of the tax credit, the federal tax credit, then it's recommended that you do a lease, because the leasing company, they take the advantage of the tax credit, but they do pass on some of those savings onto you to lower your monthly payments. Back to loans are a great option because there's zero down payment. You don't have to pay anything up front. Your payments are usually, most of the time, they need to be less than your electrical bill, and it is the case. So for example, if you have a $250 average electric monthly bill, a loan payment for that could be anywhere between $150 to $200, depending on the system size and depending on what you get. If you get roofing, or if you get battery, whatever the final system cost is, affect that payment. But in any case, if like best case, you're at $150, worst maybe at $200, you're still saving money. You haven't paid anything out of pocket. So honestly, it's a really great investment. And finally, they actually don't have any prepayment penalties. So you can pay off that loan at any time you want.
Wow. So you're still saving money, and at the same time, you're investing into something that you own.
Right. Exactly. And you're increasing the value of your house. So, I mean, it's a really no-brainer. Yeah.
Absolutely. What are some of the main benefits of each of these options, and then potential drawbacks to consider?
Right. So with cash, the biggest advantage is, the fastest ROI. Like we've calculated ROIs in previous episodes, we talked about it. We said it could be anywhere between 4 to 7 years. So you're going to actually have that in a case of, of a cash down payment, or a cash payment for the solar system. So the drawback is you have to pay the cash. So if you have it saved for a different project, then obviously you don't have it. But again, overall, it's really the greatest option. I'm biased towards that because, you don't have to pay any interest. You're not wasting any of the money that you have, provided you have to have it, right? So the second is a loan. Typically, loan programs, they have terms. They have as little as 5 years, and they have as high as 25 years. So obviously, the lowest term is going to have the highest payment, but it's going to have the lowest interest rate. And the opposite of the longest term is going to have the lowest payment, but it's going to have also a higher interest rate. But overall, the payments, because they do basically amortize over 25 years, the payments are extremely low. And the interest rates are not that high either. So the interest rates in general for all the solar programs you could get it as little as 0.99 upwards of 7.99. So it's a wide range depending on the loan program where you are, and the equipment and all that. But I think loans are a great option because, like I said, zero down payment. You can pay it off at any time. The loan payment is going to be less than your electrical bill. So, and again, no premium penalties. So a lot of the common loan programs are like 12, 15 years, so those are great options. You get lower payments, and at the same time, it's taking you 12 years to pay the loan. But again, it's you would pay a lot more than that in electric bills if you haven't done anything. Finally, leasing. Leasing is the least ROI because it's just a fixed payment over 20 years. Sometimes it's a fixed payment with a zero escalator. Sometimes you have actually let's say 1 or 2 or 3% escalator, where like year after year your payments are going to slightly increase. But again, it's exactly how much you're going to pay, kind of like a mortgage. You know exactly, like let's say you have a 30-year fixed mortgage, you know exactly how much you're paying every year. The same thing with a solar lease, and some of the savings will be passed on to you from the company that's owning the solar system.
are some of the key considerations that you, for example, guide potential customers through when they're trying to decide which one is best for them?
Great. So factors would be like how long you're planning to stay in the house, do you have the cash or not? Do you plan to do something with the cash or not, And then obviously overall savings, how much you're looking to save out of this, you want to try to save the entire bill amount and then pay as little as possible, right? So this is, kind of the situation. So we say, some people say, okay, well, sometimes they do a hybrid, they do a cash plus loan, like let's say it's a $20,000 system, they'll pay half of it cash, half of it loan, whatever situation they have. So the most important thing is we want to make sure they maximize on the savings. We do advise them and we tell them this, exactly what I'm saying right now. Cash is the best way, loan, lease. So, and depending on their situation and how long they're staying in the house, if they want to pay for it or not. I mean, again, a great option would be get a loan and then prepay it early, because again, there's no prepayment penalties. Also, a lot of loan providers, what will do is they'll give you the tax credit up to 18 months interest free. So you can, let's say you have a $20,000 loan, let's say your tax credit is 30%, that's $6,000. So they give you the $6,000, so they'll calculate your payment based on a principal of $14,000, not $20,000. They'll calculate the interest, so the payments will be basically based on $14,000 principal. But you have to make sure in 18 months or less to pay off that $6,000. If you don't pay off that $6,000, then basically the principal will recalculate based on the remainder of the loan amount. So the payments are expected to go up. So that's a great way of savings. You're getting basically free money for 18 months, right? So interest, zero interest on it, So yeah, that's a great option as well.
If it does kick in, if let's just say, you were not able to pay off that $6,000, does it kick in retroactively or just from that?
No, from that point forward. Yeah, that's a good question. Exactly, from that point forward. And actually sometimes you can pay off, sometimes people say, okay, well, I'm going to take $6,000, I'm going to pay off $3,000 and keep $3,000. You can do that. Certain companies have a minimum amount that you have to pay off. You can similarly pay off more than that, and you can say, I'm going to pay $10,000 and then to reduce your payments even further. So it's pretty flexible. Most loan companies out there, solar loan companies out there are pretty flexible when it comes to that.
Any other advice that you tell to viewers considering how they're going to pay for this?
Yeah, I think it's similar to what I've said before. I think it's important that they understand what the ROI for each model, make sure that aligns with their goals, how long they plan to stay in the house, what they want to do with the solar system, how much they want to save money. So, and again, I always advise consumers to say, if you have cash, then go for it. Sometimes a lot of homeowners opt to go for a HELOC because those have generally lower interest rates, right? So, and then it's a little bit, the process is a little bit more cumbersome to go through than a solar loan. You don't get the instant approval. You usually will just call your bank and then get basically that line of credit, right? And then, but again, the interest rates are sometimes lower, especially if people have their mortgages with credit unions. Credit unions are known to have lower interest rates in general. So, that would be another good advice to consider doing that versus a solar loan. But again, solar loans, the reason we find them so popular because they're just so easy to approve. You can get an instant approval, and then you can get funded within literally as little as sometimes a few days. If you're ready to install the solar system, we request funding. It's right there.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And please let us know if you have any other specific questions that you'd like us to talk about. And also be sure to check out our other videos where we talk about things like return on investment on your solar system. Thanks for watching. This is Altair Solar with President Khaled Elsheref, and I'm Ariana Escalante, and we'll see you soon.